Well, hey guys, how are you today? I hope that you are all doing awesome. It feels a little bit more like winter out there again than it did last week, didn't it? So I hope that this springtime that you are staying warm and having fun. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm about ready to take a trip pretty soon. I love traveling and I love going places. And if I had a choice right now, I would hop in the car and I would head south and go find some warmer weather. Doesn't that sound awesome? That sounds awesome to me. So because I started dreaming about this, I did a little bit of research and I got out my trusty road atlas. And about 400 miles south of here, I found this park that's called Knob Noster, and it's in Missouri, and it's got water around it and some there's hiking trails and canoeing and horseback riding, something for everybody. And I just think that right now that sounds like an awesome place to go. And it should only take us about 6 hours or so to get there, maybe 7 hours if you have to stop a little bit along the way. But when you're going on a road trip, you need to have all the stuff to go with it to make it lots of fun, right? So you're gonna need to have some snacks. So I've got snacks. And I've got, a comfy blankie just in case, you want to take a nap with a pillow. Oh, and look who came along. Yep, he's coming along. And you have to have something to read. So I've got a magazine. I love this book. I don't know if you guys have ever read this book. This is an awesome thank you book. So you can do some reading. You might want to watch a movie. I've got a couple movie choices. So we can watch some movies, do some Sudoku. Got some games. More snacks. I tell you, we are ready to go. We are all ready to go. So would you like to come with me? Do you think that would be awesome? We could rent a van and we've got all of our stuff and we can go. Except there's one little tiny problem. We don't have a vehicle. No. So I think we're going to actually, we're going to have to walk. And, that's not all that awful. We can't bring all this stuff along, but we could bring a backpack. A backpack is good. When I calculated out, let me look here. Let's see if we go. Well, I've walked 10 miles, the furthest ever in a day, and it says it's 428 miles to get there. So 10 miles might be a little bit much for all of us. So let's say that we walk 7 miles a day. And we can't walk on Sundays because you have to have a day to just, rest a little bit. So yeah, I think by about June 1st. If we leave on Wednesday, which is March 17th, we should be able to be there by about June 1st. So I hope you guys aren't doing anything for the next couple of months because we're just going to be walking. And we might need to pack things a little bit differently. We're going to need a water bottle. And, this isn't going to get us very far, so we might have to stop at a couple of rivers and fill up some water. Anyhow, that'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Oh, socks. My kids have done some hiking, and I hear that really comfy socks when you walk for days on end at a time. So socks, we'll pack some socks. We might need some sunscreen because, spring and summer is coming. Mosquitoes. We might run into a few mosquitoes. That might be a problem. But I've got one tube of mosquito stuff that we could share between us. And food. Well, I don't think that I could pack enough food for us between now and June 1st. I've got some stuff to get us started. I found in the back room we have freeze-dried chili mac and cheese with beef, so we could eat that for lunch the first day. And then for supper that night, we could have chili mac with cheese with beef. Yep, could have that the next time. And then one more. Oh, for breakfast, we get chili mac with cheese. Well, doesn't that sound yummy? Yeah, well, let's just hope and pray that God will provide us some food along the way because we might get tired of chili mac and cheese. So does this sound like fun to you? Do you think you really want to come with me and walk for the next, I don't know exactly, but till June 1st? Well, maybe, probably not. It doesn't sound like much of a vacation, does it? Well, our story today comes from the Old Testament with Moses. And God's people, the Israelites, they had left the land where they were slaves, and they were walking and walking and walking and walking for years to get to the promised land. And in our story today, they were fed up. They were tired. They had been eating the same food all all the time, over and over and over again, and water was hard to come by. And so they were doing a lot of complaining. And they began to think that life was a whole lot better back in the olden days before they had even left. And so our world friends today, they are thinking that life is better also in days gone by. So let's check to see what our world friends are learning about what life used to be like.
When did Sunday school become nothing but biblical analysis?
Since we've been able to read and write.
Do you know how long the Bible is? 1 billion pages. And then there's all these leaflets, huge art projects, endless sermons. Sunday school is too hard. I want to go back to the nursery.
We're allowed to do that? No, you can't go back to the nursery. It's for babies.
Not anymore. I'm re-enrolling. Who's with me? Clara?
I do miss the security of rounded edges and outlet protectors.
Ada?
I'll stay at the big kids' table, thank you.
Suit yourself. Clara and I will be finger painting.
Gather round, nursery friends. We have 2 new friends joining us today. Everyone, meet Otto and Clara. Say hi, everybody.
Mama.
You see? This is the life, Clara. No leaflets, no Bible verse memorization, no other children our own age. What's wrong, Clara?
I forgot to mention that babies make me extremely nervous.
I'll get you some water.
Whoa there, little guy. Babies aren't allowed outside of the nursery.
I was just getting some water for Clara.
Oh, if you need water, you need to ask a licensed certified nursery attendant to help you.
But I'm 7 years old.
Aw, I think someone is a little overstimulated and needs a nap.
What? No, I'm not tired at all.
Oh, this one looks a little cranky.
I am not cranky.
A little swaddle will cure what ails him.
No, don't do that. I don't want.
Shh. Hush now, little treasure. Hush your little face.
Oh, terrifying. I absolutely refuse to sleep in these conditions.
Snack time! Are you ready for your applesauce?
Applesauce? I have teeth. Sounds like someone is cranky without his applesauce. No, stop. No. No more. I don't want it.
How'd it go?
I see now that simpler times may have been too simple.
Where's Clara?
Oh, no. Clara!
Otto? I want to go home now.
Oh my goodness! Otto, he was not enjoying Sunday school very much, was he? And he decided that life would be a whole lot easier if he went back to the nursery. And that sounds like that might be a little bit more of a vacation than having to do your leaflets and reading out of the Bible and all that good stuff. But what did he find when he got back to the nursery? He found that there was no freedom at all. You couldn't leave to even go get a glass of water if you wanted. He got swaddled up. He had to take a nap. And then he got spoon-fed applesauce. That didn't sound very pleasant, did it? So that was not a whole lot of fun. So sometimes, are there times that you think that maybe it would be a whole lot more fun to be a little kid again than to be grown up? Do you ever think about that? Is there something that you miss in particular from when you were little? I remember when I was little that I liked to be carried a lot. And I think my mom and dad must have carried me a lot because I remember being maybe about 5 and my mom saying, I can't carry you anymore. You've got 2 feet, you can walk. And I remember being mad that I didn't want to walk. I wanted her to carry me around. And, that's part of growing up is that you get to learn to use your own 2 feet. Do you remember a time that you were somewhere and you wished that you were home? Maybe at school, maybe you were at a friend's house, or maybe you'd gone to a museum somewhere and you weren't particularly enjoying it and you wished that you were back home. A lot of us these days wish that we could go on a trip, don't we? Well, God's people were on a trip and they were actually on a journey to a new home, and they were getting a little bit fed up with the process. Let's read our story today. It's called Snakes in the Wilderness. And it's from Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 through 9, and this is in the Old Testament, so before Jesus came. God's people were complaining. God rescued them from Egypt, but now they were stuck in the wilderness. They had to walk and walk and walk all day long. The people rubbed their tired, sore feet. They yelled at God and their leader Moses, "We're tired! There's no water!" A bunch of snakes appeared among God's people. The more the people complained, the more the snakes bit the men and the women and the children. The people cried out for help. "Ow! That snake bit me! God, take these horrible snakes away! Help us, God! We were wrong not to trust you." God was with the people in the wilderness. God heard them asking for help. God spoke to Moses, and Moses listened to God's instructions. Make a snake out of bronze. Raise it up high on a staff. If someone is bitten, tell them to look at the bronze snake, and they will live. God's people kept walking for days and weeks and months through the wilderness. Sometimes there were snakes. Many times their feet were tired and sore. But now they could look up at the bronze snake and live. They trusted God to save them, and they knew God was always with them. They trusted God, and they knew that God was always with them. I like that. And at the very bottom of the page here, it says, I wonder if the same thing would happen if you made a mosquito statue. And Otto says, not likely, Ada, not likely. So, anyhow. Well, that was a long journey for God's people, wasn't it? For days and weeks and months. I think ultimately they ended up walking for about 40 years. So it was a really long time. And God's people were complaining. I don't think I'd want to even walk from here to Missouri. So I could kind of see how come they might be complaining. But the problem is that they forgot to look to God for help. But who heard them when they were complaining? Who heard them? God did. And God reminded them that he is always with them. God had Moses make out of bronze a serpent and put it on a staff and hold it up so that the people could look to that and to remember that God is always with them. Well, during the Bible times, snake bites were deadly. And so there wasn't modern medicine to help them. We can thank God today that if somebody gets bitten by a snake, that there's medicine, and God gave people gifts to be able to make medicine and things like that. But today in our church, we don't have a bronze serpent that we look at, do we? What do we look at today? What symbol do we look at today that reminds us how much God loves us and to trust God? Do you guys remember? Well, I've got one here. It's a cross, because in the New Testament, it reminds us that God loved us so much that he sent his only son for us. And so we can, whenever you see a cross, you can remember to look to God. When you're having a bad day and you feel like complaining, you can talk to God and pray to God, and God is always with you. He's always listening, and he loves you very, very much. So I hope you guys have a good time doing your leaflets together today, and we will see you again back here next week. Take care.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary.